Let's move on and have a look at the next part of our day. And this is potentially the most disastrous part of our presentation. You know what they say, never work with children, animals, and now large language models. But like many businesses, we've been thinking about AI. And I want to report back on the extraordinary work that we've undertaken. The work that we've done to research, to understand, to position, and to develop the AI capabilities for our partners and for our customers. So, AI is everywhere. You see it in your day, whether it's a voice assistant, something helping you with your written work, something creating images or video for you, something helping your car find its way to work or home again, helping you get there quicker to see your kids, whatever it's doing. AI is already in your day, and it's growing. It's growing at an extraordinary rate. At our Apex event last night for our partners, Fletch said, we've never seen a technology adopted quite so quickly. And I feel that's the case. We've seen a huge change. That market might grow by 50% in a year. And marketers are involved. Marketing departments are involved. Marketing departments will be affected by the AI technology that is all around us. Many of you, as you can see on the metrics on the slide, have used AI, are using AI, are dedicating budget to AI, and seeing change as a result. Able to work more effectively, for teams to work more efficiently, the sort of teamwork we just heard about, impacted by the AI assistants now available to us. And since AI is here, and since AI is here to stay, it seems like we will all need to adapt. Not just superficially like a chameleon, but actually in our mindset, in our approach, in our working methods, and how we go about contributing to our teams, contributing to our enterprises, be they charitable or be they commercial. And we can adopt those changes carefully. We can be considerate. We can think about the impact on our colleagues, our team structures, and our corporations. But we can also drive things forward. We can select tools that prioritize the impact that we want in our role. Last year, I stood at the studio that we broadcast the second day of the Apteco Live event from, and I announced that Apteco would take responsibility for you, for our partners and for our customers. We would take responsibility to understand Gen AI. It was a year at that point since OpenAI had launched ChatGPT, and we had just an inkling that the world had changed. So I stood up and said, we'll take responsibility for that. I got back to the office and the product manager said, what have you said that for? How are we going to do that? We've got all this, you know, you've already said we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and what, AI? How are we going to do that? And it was a challenge. But it's been a massive undertaking that changes everything about how we think of software, how we think of data, how we think of analytics, and how we will interface and work with the systems that we provide. And I'm proud, a year after that announcement, to tell you what we've achieved. And I'm going to do so by introducing you to a new colleague, an assistant that will be available to you to help you and your teams every day. We thought about that assistant and how it, he or she, would form part of your team. And it seemed appropriate that they were friendly, respectful, intelligent, space-themed, because our product is called Orbit, and fun. And so we brought together the orbiting star that we use as the Orbit logo, an astronaut's helmet, and a little bit of AI sparkle. and we formed the start of an image. We thought about it, and we made it into Orin. Delighted to introduce you to your new colleague, Orin. Orin will be working with you in the weeks and months to come. Today, he's young, he's learning, he's going to classroom, he's going to school, he's being trained every day. And poor old Orin has an exam every single day. How did you do? And sometimes he gets it right, and sometimes he gets it wrong. But because we're helping him, we're guiding him, we're putting safety rails in, we're nurturing him, he's becoming already a useful assistant. But clearly, in order to make Orin engaging, we had to think about the name. And here is the definition of Orin. The name that we chose. It's a traditional Irish name. It has suggestions of approachability, of openness, transparency, connection to nature. And we'll let you read more about this in weeks to come. But we picked Orin, which also stands for Orbit Intelligence. Our design team, Giannis and Fazer, did fantastic work to give us a pedigree for Orin. And that means Orin can be cheerful, Orin can be sad, Orin can be focused, or Orin can be pleading, and more. And of course, Orin needs to be able to express things. And so, Orin can be happy, Orin can be active. You'll see some of this over the coming months. Orin is going to be available in 3 tiers as a knowledge guide to help you understand what Apteco offers you. It's a great way to start a new colleague if they are starting to use the software that we provide. Orin can also learn about your data. And for those of you technically interested, we have the capability now to build a vector database directly from your data, the first-party data that we have the privilege to manage in our technology on your behalf for you and for your clients and for your colleagues. And using that data gives us exceptional capabilities with AI because we can bring that together, the knowledge of the platform, the data that we understand, to produce solutions in AI. So we have 3 tiers for you. Shall we talk to Orin? Let's see how we get on. Oops, let's press the right keys. There you go. So I'm going to go to the 3rd of the 3 servers. Oh dear. Orin. Let's just try that again, shall we? So we'll see if we can get that to reconnect, and if not, I'm going to give Orin a... oh, there we go, we've connected. So Orin has been sleeping quietly. So you're going to have to watch on the right-hand side of the screen. And I commend you to cheer, boo, worry. We'll see how we go on. So here's Orin. Welcome, James. What else can I assist you with today? Let's explore together. And there's some suggested interactions, but let's just start by saying hello, Orin. And we'll get our first responses back from Orin. Okay, fairly simple response. What can you do? None of this is scripted. I have practiced a bit, but none of it is scripted. I'm going to ask you to shout out questions later just to prove the point. What can you do? I can help with a variety of tasks. I'm not going to read all of these out, but you can see information and guidance, data insights, and modifying audiences. That's actually the 3 tiers that we have in the system. So I can ask a little bit about what Orin can do, and I should just show you, before we get too far into it, that there's a variety of options. I can always start a new chat. I can look at the chat history. So, for example, I can see some of the previous conversations I've had with Orin. I can ask for help on Orin, and I can send feedback to Orin. I also, on each of the interactions here, have the chance to copy the text, to regenerate the text, so we can ask the same question again. We can give a like response, so I can say I quite like that response, and I can either say that's helpful information, or I can say particularly that was great, for example, and that feedback will go back to our team. We keep isolated instances of a ChatGPT 4.0 large language model, mini, running in isolated instances on Azure. None of the data that you put into Orin or that I put into Orin is used for training. We give him the ground truths, the vector database, the basic information. We've put guardrails in to ensure that all responses are appropriate, that he can never give inappropriate responses in any language, for example, not in many languages. We can also say you didn't like a response. You can say the response was off topic, for example, if you don't like it. So there's lots of ways to get through that. So we could ask, what does the Orbit platform do? And Orin will go and read relevant documents and then tell me a little bit about the Orbit platform. You'll see that he's given me some help links. Some of those will take me directly to pages. Right now, he can also suggest help links that don't exist. And guess what? Our technical authors are probably going to say, oh, right, better write some of those help topics. We can ask questions about specific functionality, for example. I could say, can Orbit help me with analysis, for example? And reading the document, Orin can tell us, absolutely, Orbit is designed to help with the data analysis through its dynamic dashboards. Well, yeah, that is part of our help. Incidentally, the responses are not always the same. You can run, a conversation in different routes. You get different flavors. Tells us about large volumes, etc. Let's say, can Orbit create segments, for example? Let's put a question mark on there. You don't need the question mark. Yes, it can create segments. Can Orbit send emails? And what a fantastic way to onboard your colleagues. They can get started straight away. You can even set more interesting challenges. Can you help me identify my best customers? Yes, Orin can help with that sort of thing. Let's just try another one. Can you help me find lookalikes for those customers? And notice that, I can't type very well, but notice that it has context. Orin has context, so I can refer to topics I've previously asked about. I can say, how do I do that? And knowing the previous response, reading the relevant docs, he can help. I could even say, can you help me with a demo of Orbit? A little bit of thinking. I can't conduct live demos myself. Well, that's true. But I can guide you on accessing preview features in Orbit, which might give you a closer look, and then tells me about how to go. In fact, that's not so much about a demo, but telling me about new features. But that's rather good. So I might say, thank you, Orin. It's always polite. Always good to be polite to a new colleague. You're very welcome. Marvelous. Well, I told you this might go a bit haywire. I carry in my pocket a set of AirPods. Some of you, one of you, is going to win a set of AirPods today. Let's try going a step further, shall we? I'm going to put my AirPods on so that I can use a microphone. Now, this bit is standard browser speech to text. It's not our code, it's standard code that is going to do some of this to save me typing each of the requests. Let's see how we get on. And actually, most of what I've shown you so far is in the first level. That was all tier 1. It's about using the application. Let's now see if we can go up into a bit of data navigation. So let's say, we use the microphone. What data is loaded into my system? Looks hopeful. There you go. Orin has just found for me what data tables are in that system. Let's go further. What variables are on the contacts table? Wow. That's a list of variables on my contact table. Let's go even further. Let's say, what are the category variable values? So now we've gone from knowing nothing about the data model. Orin has helped us find the tables, it's listed the variables, and we've seen the values in one of those variables. I could say, for example, what data is in the orders table? And again, we found the. You're all very quiet. I don't know if you're entranced or bamboozled, but you could. Well, maybe welcome to your future. Are we all going to be sat in pods talking to our computers? I certainly talk to my my Google Assistant to ask it to play the radio for me quite readily. I did in that Christmas a few years ago where all the voice assistants arrived. I had Siri, Alexa, and Google all in the same room, tried to get them all to talk to each other. There's just a few conversations that you can get them to have. I mean, we can say to Orin, for example, who is Siri anyway? And Orin already has some world knowledge. So he knows Siri's a virtual assistant developed by Apple, etc. But let's go back to some of our data analysis. Let's try it by voice. And you can mix voice. And in fact, the voice stuff is prototype. We're not really releasing this yet. I'm just using it because it's fun and it's convenient for a demo. What can you tell me about the order date variable? So we can see we've got orders from the 1st of January 2019 to the 31st of December 2024. That's rather nice, isn't it? What range of values are in the item values variable? We can see we've got orders up to £28,000 in this entirely fictitious database. Let's ask a slightly more challenging question. How do orders relate to contacts? So we've got some generic advice back this time. In most data systems, orders are typically related to contacts through a common identifier. Well, spot on. You know, we started earlier today building common identifiers for a uniquely identified individual in the CDP. I think I can say another bit of thanks. Let's say, wow, you are very knowledgeable. Well, here to help. That's good. So that was kind of tier 2. That's knowledge about the data. Let's try going up another level. Can you make me a selection of VIP contacts? You've got a clue what's going to happen. Ah, unlucky. That's surprising. Let's try again. See if I can find one that will work. Can you select contacts with a title of professor or doctor? There you go. So that's tier 3. I don't quite know why the first one didn't work. We do have VRP, so we'll try again actually in a minute. Let's do it. But that has just made an audience for me. Please rename that audience to segment 1. Watch the top left. Renamed it segment 1. Don't even need to click there. Please, could you save that audience for me? Audience has been successfully saved. So, welcome to the future. You know, you won't need to be at your computer, you just chat to it. And, you know, you can't ask it yet, how is my campaign doing? But you will be able to. In fact, I realised earlier I forgot to show you the campaign goals. Let me do that, as things I've remembered now. Do you remember we were looking at this campaign, and I said it had got goals. I talked about them, but I didn't show you the goals page. Actually shows us how far we're tracking on those goals. Imagine being able to ask Orin that. How is my VR Warwick Castle campaign objectives and goals tracking? And he could tell you. Back to that. We're nearly out of time, so I think we should just ask a few other questions. Let's see. Do you know who Helen Sharman is? Not specially trained. Orin knows because he's based on a general purpose large language model that we've cultured, that we've trained, that we've given a safety net. Helen Sharman is a British chemist who became the first British astronaut, the first woman to visit the Mir station. And she's here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try another one. Have you met Tim Peake? I haven't met anyone. Sad little virtual assistant. Orin will look after you. You're only young, but he does know what who Tim Peake is. He's been very busy. Can you quote? Can't type. Quote. Oh, I really can't. I should be using speech. Pi to 100 places. There it is. That's one of the easy ones. Actually, I put that into my little script because I want to emphasize all the numeric heavy lifting is done by the Apteco engine. We have trained Orin to understand what is a request that needs to go to the large language model and what is a request that can be fulfilled by the Apteco platform in order that we can give you safe, reliable, high performance, completely accurate, repeatable numeric and analytics results. You can really do that sort of thing. Right, I think we should say something just to round out. Shall we stick to marketing analysis topics? Very good, of course. If you have any questions about data segmentation, I'm here to help. And I think we should just finish by saying, perfect, thank you. I think we should let our audience go and get a drink and join Apteco Expo Part 2. Take a break and enjoy the Apteco Expo. There you go. The browser doesn't understand the words Orin or Apteco, unfortunately. So if I typed that, it would work. Will you join me in giving Orin and the team of people who've produced him a round of applause? As I said, welcome to your future. Orin will be delivered in Q1 2025, automatically included in your analytics bundles, and the tiers I demonstrated 1, 2, and 3, we've simply aligned with the tiers in our bundles. Selector as tier 1, Analyzer for tier 2, Predictor for tier 3. And